think Labour Party is very clear on what happened at the weekend. This was a terrible, unwarranted terror attack on the people of Israel. Israel has a right to defend itself, to respond, to retrieve the hostages that have been taken, and to use force to do so.
Will the Shadow Foreign Secretary sit with the Palestinian Ambassador, appearing with him at an event, given that the Palestinian Ambassador basically said the last couple of days that Israel had it coming?
I can only tell you about my conference diary, Kay, where I will be joining the Labour Friends of Israel tonight in a vigil at the conference. We stood in silence, in solidarity with the people of Israel yesterday at the conference, and our position on this is very, very clear. This was a completely unwarranted attack to which Israel has the right to respond, to defend itself, to retrieve its people, and to use force to do so. And by the way, Hamas will have known all of this before they launched this attack on Saturday.
Yeah. However, my question remains, I think it's a reasonable one. The Shadow Foreign Secretary sitting with the Palestinian Ambassador to the United Kingdom, who says that basically Israel had it coming. Your party has gone to great lengths to try to mend the fractures, I should say, as far as the Israeli community is concerned. And then your Shadow Foreign Secretary sits with a guy who says they had it coming.
Well, they did not have it coming. And that is not the view of the Labour Party. It's not the view of the Shadow Foreign Secretary. It's not the view of Keir Starmer or of anyone in his shadow cabinet. And our position is quite clear. This was a completely unwarranted attack. Hundreds of innocent Israelis were either killed or taken hostage. Israel will now respond to this. They have to retrieve their people. And if Hamas were concerned about the effect on the Palestinian people, they would return every one of those hostages, and they would do it today.
Is it appropriate that the Shadow Foreign Secretary sits with a man who said what he said?
The Shadow Foreign Secretary has the same view of this as me.
It's not my question, with all due respect, Mr McFadden, that's not my question. Should he sit with a man that has made these comments?
The Shadow Foreign Secretary has the same view as me, which is that this was a completely unwarranted attack, that Israel has a right to respond, to defend itself, and to retrieve the hostages who've done no one any harm and have been taken into the Gaza Strip against their will. And that is what will unfold now as Israel responds to this completely unwarranted attack last weekend.
Why won't you answer my question?
Because David Lammy and I are of the same view of this, which is the view I've outlined 3 or 4 times. This was a completely unwarranted attack. Israel will respond to it.
Mr McFadden. Just answer my
Hamas
question.
knew that before they launched the attack.
What do you think?
I think what I've said to you 3 or 4 times, which is that we stand with the people of Israel. That's what we did yesterday. We stand with the innocent victims of this.
And if I'd asked you that question, then that would have been the answer. That's not the question I'm asking you, Mr McFadden. This is an atrocious comment by the Palestinian Ambassador to the UK, who has been on the programme many times. I have no personal animosity towards him at all. However, saying something like that, and then somebody who would like to be our next Foreign Secretary shares a platform with him, lots of my viewers watching this morning would think that that is totally unacceptable. You're not going to answer my question, so let me put it in a different way. If David Lammy does share a stage with the Palestinian Ambassador to the UK, should he be disciplined?
No, David Lammy will set out the same view that I'm setting out to you. He doesn't speak for anyone other than the Labour Party. I speak for the Labour Party, and our view is very, very clear.
It's not.
You know, there are plenty of people who want a better life for the Palestinians. I understand that. We all want a better life for the Palestinians, but it will not be achieved by the kind of terrible, unwarranted attack that was launched on Saturday. In fact, Palestinian people will suffer as a result of the unwarranted attack that happened on Saturday. And all of this was known to Hamas before they launched that attack. And what they should do now is return every one of those hostages, and they should do so today.
Obviously. However, what isn't clear is the shadow foreign secretary, if he shares a stage with the Palestinian ambassador to the UK tonight, should he take the opportunity then to criticise him for the comments that he made, which basically were suggesting that bloodshed of Israelis, innocent Israelis, civilians in Israel, was a byproduct of trying to find a two-state solution, for want of a better way of putting it?
On any platform that the shadow foreign secretary is on, and you heard his speech, his good speech to the Labour Party conference yesterday, he will set out our position, which is that this was a completely unwarranted attack. Of course, the shadow foreign secretary will say that. That's his view. It's the view of Keir Starmer. It's the view of the Labour Party. We stand with Israel. They have a right to respond to this. In any public forum that the shadow foreign secretary is speaking in, he will make her position very clear.
You need to be careful for this not to overshadow the party conference, and I think that you guys need to get together and come up with a form of words that will clarify the situation. In the meantime, Keir Starmer speaking later on. Build a better Britain, what does that look like?
Well, he's setting out his speech today, this afternoon, and building is a big part of it, because the dream of home ownership has become more and more distant for a generation of young people. So we're coming forward with proposals today for a new generation of new towns, which is about more than building houses. It's about building communities, because we don't just want houses, although we need them. We also need the GP surgeries, the primary schools, the transport infrastructure, the businesses, things that make a community. And it's not just housing, it's also the infrastructure that we need for the energy transition and many other things. We have got to generate the wealth in this country to pay for the public services that we want, to enable people to buy a home of their own, and make sure that that generation of wealth is felt in every part of the country. And that's going to be at the heart of the speech that Keir Starmer makes this afternoon.